Good day, friends. It is me, HLModTech, and I am back with another fun Tinkercad tutorial. Friends, today we're going to make an F1 car, so let's get cracking. So friends, one of my viewers, Brian, has been asking for an F1 car. As you can see, I did a quick Google search to see what one looks like these days. I'm going to see what I can do so we create one, something similar. Friends, of course, step one is to visit Tinkercad.com. I always choose sign in with Google. If you want to always stay on top of what I'm creating, make sure you take a moment to hit that like and subscribe button. Friends, we're going to start by clicking New 3D Design. I like to always have you start with naming the file. Simply click and let's call it F1 car. If you want to put your initials after it, that's easier if you're turning this in for class. Alrighty friends, we are going to start by searching for a shape called the capsule. When you type caps, you will see it. When you bring it out, notice it has a spot that is not real great. Don't worry about it, it's not going to bug us. Now I want this to be saved over here because we're going to use it again and again. Do Control D and just move it over. You may also want to make it a favorite because it is pretty darn handy. We are going to rotate it. Friends, when you rotate, you move to this little arrow right here and see this blue line inside. That makes it go 22.5 degrees at a time. If you come out here, it goes 1 degree at a time. I've got a bonus. If you hold shift, it automatically goes 45 degrees at a time, which is what we wanted. We're also going to rotate it this way 45 degrees, so you notice I'm going to grab, hit shift, click, click, and bingo, it's sitting the way we want. Press D to drop, and it'll move up to the work plane. Now we're going to type some measurements. I would like the length of it to be 120 and press enter. That's how long our dragster's body is going to be. Friends, our next adjustment is going to be a stretch. Go anywhere, but then I want you to type 18 for how wide the body of our vehicle is. Now, friends, I want you to zoom out. You can also just hit home. We do want to look at it from a corner, and we're going to tilt it 5 degrees. Notice you can come out to the tick mark. You can come up here. You can type it, whatever you want, but we want a 5-degree slant because that's going to be more awesome. Friends, grab that capsule and do Control D. We're going to use it again. Once again, we're going to click on it. This time we're going to use mirror to move the little bad nugget to the back so we don't see it as much. I want you to simply click on this and make the width of it 40. And I want you to stretch the length, and let's do 50 this way. Change the height to 10, and let's align these now. If we do select, click on the middle, choose align, bingo, you've got that right where we want it. Use the arrows to nudge it a little bit behind the seat. Also raise it up off the ground, just a couple clicks like that. Now we're going to add some cool textures with this too. Control D on that one. A new command, Control Up. We're going to hold down Alt and Shift. Make sure you've got both of them, and when you nudge this in, notice it goes in a little bit. I'm also going to make it a little thinner. Instead of 8.8, I'm going to type 5 and then do Control Up to make it poke back out. Pick something you think is awesome. You do have permission to make this how you want. I'm just giving you my steps for making this cute little F1 car. Let's real quickly select them all, press the letter L for align, and make sure they're still lined up. I'm going to real quickly add some colors just for fun. I'm going to make this a dark blue. I'm going to make this a yellow. And I'm going to keep the main vehicle like it is with the white. I'm going to grab them all quick and do Control down 1, 2, 3. So notice they're all touching the work plane. Now let's go back to our basic shapes. Bring out a cube. And watch this. This cube, I'm making sure it is bigger than the whole shape. And then I'm going to change this to 10. Now the reason why I'm doing that is because I can move it down crazy low, but change the number to -10. Since it matches the size of the shape, it is exactly underneath. We can grab the entire project, making sure we've got it. Do Control G or hit the group button to group it. Now notice they all turned white. We can fix that quickly by hitting multicolor. Boom, we've got a body for our F1 car. Friends, let's real quickly add a seating area. Bring out a cube. I'm going to tell you the number we want is 17 and press enter. We'll stretch it this way to 25 and press enter. Let's do shift select. Press the letter L, make the car the boss, and bring it to the middle. We're going to raise it up a couple clicks, Control up 1, 2, 3, and grab both of them and do Control G to group them. Bingo, a place for a seat. Friends, let's add a really fun scoop behind the driver's head. Click on your capsule and do Control D. Bring it to the other side again and spin it 90 degrees. Notice I stayed inside the circle. Once again, from a corner, let's rotate it 90 degrees. So we've got the bad side down. I will press D to drop. I'm going to stretch it out. You can pick any number you want. I'm going to do 9.5. Friends, we're going to click on that and do Control D to duplicate. Make the second one a hole. I'm going to tell you to hold down Shift and squeeze that from 15 down to 14 or 13. I'll let you take your pick. So you can see that it's inside. Press T for transparent. Notice it is not aligned. We're going to fix that real quickly by selecting them both, choosing the letter L, and bingo, now it is aligned. Group that, and let me show you why. It gives us a fun little shape that we can cut twice. Now we're going to cut it twice because we're going to get rid of that junk on the bottom. See all that? So that's cut one. And then I also want to open the front. So I'm just going to bring out another box. I like that shape right there. Notice it is not precise, but when you hit Control G, the result is pretty darn slick. Press T to shut off transparency. Pick your color that you want. I'm going to choose a blue. I'm also going to do Control D and I'm going to save this. And when I move this over, I can now lift it up. If I move this back one click, boom, all of a sudden it looks connected just like you'd want. How cool is that? Friends, I want to make a trim back here so we've got room for wheels. We're going to do that with another amazing part. This one is called the extrusion. When you type extrusion, make sure you have the star. This little guy is super handy. We're going to use him again and again. Now I am going to make this curve look like this. So if I drag this a little bit to the left and a little bit in, it gives me a nice rounded shape. You can fiddle with, adjust, get whatever you want. I'm going to make it a hole, and then I'm going to move it over here to cut this shape the way I just lined it up. Now I do want the inverse, so I'm going to do it like this so you can see how it comes in and rounds that shape. I'm also going to change the degrees just a couple. Use the arrows to get it where I want. You can also readjust these after you play. But it is going to cut out a little bit for the wheels. Now we want it on both sides. This is so cool, friends. Control D, Shift, use the flip command. Bingo. Now you want it exactly in the middle, so select just those two. You could shift click and then group them. Now once they're grouped, you can shift click your car, choose a line, and if the car's the boss, let's zoom out and find that center. Bingo. Now it's going to cut exactly like you want. I'm going to move it down just a little bit because I don't really want to cut the white piece. See how that's going to be just underneath? Friends, select them, Control G, and bingo. We have got a fun area for our wheels. Friends, it is time to raise it off the ground. I'm going to tell you to raise it. Control up, 1, 2, 3 clicks. I think that's going to be pretty darn fantastic. Friends, let's add some wheels to this real quick. Start by putting your work plane right on the side of your vehicle. It'll be straight up and down, and that makes it awesome when we grab the wheels. You can pick any wheels you want. I'm going to pick these right here. When you bring them out, because we had that work plane, it'll be aligned the way you want. I'm going to tell you to hold down Shift, and the number I think is good is 17, and press Enter. Notice that looks pretty decent for the size of our vehicle. I'm going to hit W for work plane, D to drop, and now you can adjust your vehicle so it looks the way you want. I'm going to move those out just a little. We'll add axles in a bit. I will do Control D and move them across. And then I'm going to flip that with the mirror command. I'm also going to take those two wheels so that they are aligned. I'm going to select them and I'm going to do Control G. Now I can select the car and the wheels, choose a line, make the car the boss, and bingo, they're exactly where I want. Control D to move those to the back of the car. We'll go back and adjust those in just a bit. Friends, one of the coolest parts of an F1 car is the airfoil. We're going to attach those, but before we do, make sure you put your work plane on the side of the car. I'll show you why in just a second. When we go to search, once again, we're going to type extrusion. When you click on it and bring it out, if you haven't made it a favorite, do so. This is going to be our airfoil. Check this out. When you stretch it, notice this was the forward edge. I'm going to make this a little skinnier. I'm going to make this a little wider. I'm going to bring this one up and make it skinnier. Notice if you're patient, it starts to look like a really cool airfoil. You can twist it, and all of a sudden you have got the coolest airfoil ever. Let me nudge this back to the back. You can see how that's going to look really cool. Are you ready for this, friends? You can do Control D. I'm going to do Shift Nudge to move it forward. And bingo, we have got both of our airfoils in minutes. Now you can adjust, stretch, twist, get the exact style you want for your airfoil as you make it look absolutely epic. I'm going to put my work plane back down on the ground. I'm going to stretch this out. I'm going to pick a size of 40. I'm going to make the back one 40 as well. Notice I like to type the numbers so that they snap. And let's do Shift Select to grab 1, 2, and the car. Choose a line, and let's make sure that they are lined up to the middle. This needs to do D to drop down to the ground. I'm going to raise it up 1 click. I can then nudge it back to where the car is going to touch it. Once I've got that in place, I can start changing the style of it. Notice I want to make it a little thinner, bring it back, and then I'm going to take the wheels and I'm going to nudge them back behind that cool airfoil. I am going to give it a color. I'm going to make it blue. If you want the exact same shape on the outside, watch this. Click on it, do Control D. Do W for work plane. Do D to drop. And then instead of making it super huge, make it 3. Bingo, you've got an instant edge. Now we made it 3 because we were going to hold down Shift, stretch it out, and then you've got a grip to make it nice and skinny. I'm going to change the color to yellow because it matches the theme of my car. I'm going to quickly customize this just a tiny bit to get the exact shape and placement that I want. When you are happy with that shape, friends, just simply move to the other side. Notice I clicked the blue one to cancel out any of my scales. I'm going to do Control D, work plane, click, D to drop, and bingo, instant, awesome airfoil. Control G to group. Do turn on multicolor so it stays awesome looking. Friends, how fun is that? Of course, friends, I am going to just repeat that process in the back. This time, though, I'm going to make it yellow. Once again, work plane out here. Control D, D to drop. I'm going to take that one and make it skinny. Alt Shift to make it a little larger. That goes right around the middle. Then make it the thinness that I want. I'll make it the blue just so I can keep the awesome pattern going. And then don't forget, click somewhere else to cancel the scales. Hit work plane and D to drop to get it on the other side. Select those 3, Control G to group, and of course, turn on multicolor. Friends, let's add a seat super fast. Work plane inside. I have got a tutorial for how to make an awesome seat. If you have not made this, there will be links up above. If you switch to your creations, you should be able to find the bucket seat created here. You'll be able to grab the bucket seat. If you've got more on your list, you can search for it. Once again, that tutorial is available in the standard design or code blocks. I'm going to bring it into place. Let's do Shift Squeeze to make it the right size. As we drop it in, that is pretty darn awesome. Friends, it is time to add a roll cage to keep this safe. We don't want to search our creations anymore. We just want to go to basic shapes. And then when we search, we're going to type bent for bent pipe. This is another one of my favorites. When we bring it out, it is crazy huge. We're going to change it to size 3. Notice that is a decent size for a roll cage. We're going to take it and we're going to make it go 180 degrees. So our roll cage goes all the way around our driver. We also need to stand it up. Let's do that shift rotate again. So we only have to rotate it 2 clicks for 90 degrees. If we hit D to drop, it'll be at the exact same height as our driver was. I'm going to move this to one side and hold down shift and squeeze it till it actually fits where our driver would be. Now I can use the handle to lift it up. I could also do control up arrow to get it to the exact spot for my roll cage. That protects them from the front. Notice it does need to be inside the car just a little bit more. I'm going to move it back and control down. Pick my color scheme. I think I am going to choose yellow for that one. I do want pieces to come forward too. We're going to do that like this. Once again, control D, shift nudge, and are you ready? Shift rotate, pop, pop, 90 degrees. Friends, we are going to click on that. We're going to change its bend angle to something. I'm going to tell you the number I want to try is 60. You can fiddle with these and get them how you want. Then I'm going to hold down shift and I'm going to rotate it once again 90 degrees. Now check this out. It lines up pretty sweet with our post, so we can just nudge it back into place, do control down. It almost connects up in front. We can fix that by simply changing the lead in or lead out. I'm going to guess that that end is the lead in. Let's do a 25 and press enter and see which end stretches. Did I get lucky and pick the right one? No, I didn't. So what we're going to do is change that to 20. Press enter, make this one 25, press enter. Bingo, that does connect the way I want. I'm going to move it a couple clicks out. I'm going to do control down so it connects with the bar again. And friends, then we can do control D and simply nudge it to the other side. And you have an almost instant, wicked cool roll cage. How cool is that? If you want to be more precise, set your nudge to 0.1 and bingo, get it exactly where you want. I'm going to go back to size 1 measurement. I'm going to click on those 3 shapes. 1, hold down shift, 2, and still hold shift 3. I am going to group them. And then the nice thing about this is I can align them to the middle. Shift click, choose align, make sure it's in the middle, and bam, we're good to go. Alright everybody, it is time to add our axles and some supports for that sweet airfoil in the back. I'm going to do W to put the work plane on that side so the axles are coming straight out. We're going to go back to basic shapes. We're going to grab a cylinder. I do want it to be totally round. Let's set the color to blue, and I'm going to tell you to hold down shift, squeeze it down, and the number we want to use is size 3, press enter. We're going to take the length, and I'm going to tell you the number you want is 35, and press enter. Friends, I'm going to put the work plane on the ground. Do shift select to grab the wheel and that awesome little axle. Let's press L for align, and we want it to be centered and centered. And then also from the front, there is the center as well. Bingo. Friends, let's take that axle and do control D. I'm going to click on the wheels in the back. Let's do a line, and we want to bring them to the center as well. Let's spin around and take a look. As you can see, that's pretty darn sharp. I'm officially done with the capsule, so I'm going to delete it. I'm also going to delete this shape, even though it does have a lot of fun uses if you wanted to keep making yours more custom. Friends, I want to make a really quick steering wheel. We're going to do that by bringing out a cylinder. Hold down shift and stretch it to Crazyville, but type the number 2 and press enter. F is fit view, and then you can click on that height number, and we're going to make it 15 and press enter. I'm also going to make it gray. You can pick whatever gray you want. I do also like it to be round. Now that it's taller, I'll hit F for fit view again. We're going to put the steering wheel on top with the letter W. When you press W and put the work plane there, we're going to search for a cool wheel. Press enter. Find the blue wheel. It comes out huge. We're just going to switch from rim styles to number 5. You could pick a different one. I just like this one. I am going to actually make my steering wheel yellow. I am going to hold down shift and shrink this because you can see it is bigger than our entire project. The number I want is size 9. Shift select our little column, choose a line, click the column, and we want to choose middle and middle. I'm going to make this thin. Notice it's still quite pudgy. Bingo. Now it looks like a steering wheel. Control down to get it exactly where you want. Notice I did 0.1 nudge. And then I'm going to take those two parts and I'm going to select them and group them. Once they group, I'm going to move them into the car. I'm going to tilt it 45 degrees. You can pick whatever number you want. And then don't forget to turn on multicolor so you can see how awesome it's starting to look. Friends, we do need to connect our airfoil in the back. I'm going to grab this right here and do Control D. Rotate it 90 degrees so it's standing up. If we then raise it up in the air, I'm going to make sure I have my nudge set to 1 and just do Control up or Control Shift up until it is high enough. And then I'm going to just nudge it out here and make sure they connect. I'm also going to do this cool thing so that it actually has a little bit of aerodynamic look to it. Tilt it a couple degrees. I'm going to put the work plane right here, and this is important so that it scales the way we want. I want to shrink it with the height handle. Notice it's the white one in the middle. Bingo. Now it is inside, looks really wicked. I can also tilt it a few degrees out. Of course, friends, put the work plane back on the ground. We do need 2 of those. I'm going to nudge this one out right here. Do Control D. Move this one to the other side. Make sure I use the sweet mirror tool to flip it. And then just keep nudging it until I'm happy. Remember, if you want those to be totally aligned, shift to select them. 2 shapes. Group. And then you can click on the white one, choose Align, and make sure they're in the middle. Dumb luck to have them line up like that, but oh my gosh, how cool is that? Alrighty, friends, so hopefully you've learned a ton of basic skills and had a lot of fun making this creation. Now, friends, before you show it off, I always like to shut off the grid. I think that lets you take much cooler pictures of your design. And then also, whenever you finish a project, once you click back here, don't forget they save automatically to the cloud. But then even cooler is to show everybody else what you made. You can do that by clicking Properties. Make sure you change the name. Of course, my description is going to list that there is a tutorial, so you can follow it, make your own awesome design. Don't forget to always tag your designs. Mine always has the lesson and all of that. Of course, if you want me to instantly see your design, make sure you tag it with HLMT23. And I'll actually be able to give you a reaction for your cool project. Finally, you do need to make it public, and then I always choose attribution, no derivatives, because doggone it, I want you to follow the tutorial and gain some epic skills. Finally, friends, I want to send a huge shout out to Brian. Thank you so much for suggesting this, and I hope you totally enjoyed making your own awesome F1 car. I also want to remind you all that if you ever want to share with me, it is so simple. You can click that button, generate a link, copy the link, and then you can reach out and share it with me. I am HLModTech on Facebook, Instagram, Gmail, and TikTok. You can also find me on Twitter. I am HL Tinkercad. Finally, friends, if those don't work for you, you can also visit HLModTech.com. It is my website with the awesome Tinkercad tab. And then also down in the corner is the sweet built-in messaging tool. You can click that button, add your question, comment, or suggestion, and reach me almost instantly. And finally, friends, if you enjoyed the video, please give it a like. Please also hit that share button so more people can learn about HLModTech. Don't forget, you absolutely make my day if you take time to leave a comment down below. And of course, if you haven't subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? Smash that subscribe button, and last but not least, hit that notification bell if you want to be the first to know when there's a brand new video from me, HLModTech. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.